But basically, it's just going to be me cleaning up this battle now, smashing away. But I mean, this has been a look at the gravity as well as the cavalry just come flying in, ripping these guys apart. And we also have the Star Dragon. That dragon is getting the hell out of there as well as both. Hey, how's it going? My name is jackiefishhh, and welcome back to some more of the Skaven Laboratory, which is a free update coming to Total War Warhammer 2, which basically allows you to completely change the way battles are being played. You can increase the unit size, decrease gravity so units go flying, make it so that you can shoot at 1,000,000 bolts per second. Maybe not quite that far, but I'm sure modders will allow you to then revamp that. And you guys can already see the scale of which I'm talking about on your screen right now. So this was recorded at an event I got invited to, so massive thank you to Creative Assembly for inviting me to it. That's why I'm having to add commentary after the battle. But as you can see, we have a pretty insane battle. I believe there's just about 40,000 soldiers on the field of battle right now, and we've gone ahead and reduced the entity mass, so we've made heroes and creatures tiny. As you can see, look at Tyrion right now. He is really small compared to the rest of his infantry, but Sunfang, his sword, is actually the normal size, so it just looks hilarious. You're also going to see Malekith as well at some point in the video. He's really tiny, which is always so funny because Malekith is supposed to be this like insanely bad boy, like really like destroyer of worlds, and it's just so funny seeing him as small as he is. You can also see the dragon there as well being tiny, and I mean, just look at my battle line like that. That is 20,000 troops there you're currently looking at ready for battle, and the game is running so smoothly. The rig I was playing on obviously at the event was really good. However, I'm going to be upgrading my computer very soon, probably in the next couple weeks or so, to be as good a quality as that. So if you guys are enjoying these battles and you want to see me do more crazy stuff, make sure to subscribe, as we're going to be trying to push this engine as far as we can. So we do have the Dark Elves moving up against us as well, and as you can see, yeah, so it's basically, I'm a couple hundred short of 40,000, but we'll just class it. As you can see, all my archers just unloading on the enemy, and I feel like there's just so many fun things we can do with the Skaven Labs. We can make it so that we, you know, make armor penetration really high, so these archers just slaughter everything. Or make it so that when they reload, they just shoot like insanely quickly. Because I think at the moment I've got gravity turned off. I've got the heroes and entities turned really small, so you can see they're tiny, and that's about it. And obviously I've ramped up the unit scale to I think around about ×8. However, if you think about that, this is just a 1v1 large armies. You can have another 2 full armies in this battle to make it a 2v2 large armies, meaning you can have probably close to, you know, 100,000 units on screen. And as you can see, like, it's running fairly smoothly. It's going to get a little bit choppy when the units start to collide, but that doesn't really last for too long. And if you go ahead and stick slow-mo on, it runs really well, which is, I guess, why they've gone ahead and partnered with Intel for this kind of build of Skaven Labs. You know, to really try and push the Intel processors or whatever they're kind of really looking to do with it. So yeah, you can see it's starting to tank here, but you know, that's 20,000, that's 40,000 units on screen fighting, and then all I have to do is stick it on slow-mo, and it's just as if I'm playing on a normal slow-mo. You can also see just about in the distance the gravity really starting to come into effect. It is quite bright, so you can't really see the units flying around too much in the sky, but I'm sure I will get onto that in a second. You see a few kind of in the sky if you just kind of keep an eye out for it, but don't worry, you can see it in the distance as well. I'm sure I'll zoom over to that in a second. Yeah, here we go. You can start to see a few of the units just going flying as a huge blade wind comes in on my units. You think how many blade, you can see the FPS is still a little bit dodgy. I wanted to check just to see how bad it was. I'll go back onto slow-mo, and it's completely fine once again, which is really cool. Because that is the case, you know, the fact that the game is running this well, I guess maybe not on normal mode, but on slow-mo it's running this well with 40,000 units and all these missile trails and stuff. Because when I did on my other one, my Lizardmen versus Skaven one, which again has like 42,000 units in, which will be on my channel as well, by the way, so make sure to go check that one out as well after this one. It seemed to run a lot better, and I think that's because there's a lot less like projectiles going around the thing, because whenever the archers shoot their arrows, they obviously leave that trail, which I think kind of tanks the system a little bit. Whereas my Lizardmen ones seem to run a lot better with, again, the same amount of men. But yeah, as I was saying, like, if you have a 2v2 large armies, you could easily have 100,000 units, as we see Tyrion running up. Again, just checking if the FPS is kind of a bit better, and I think now that a lot of the archers have stopped shooting and a lot more of them are engaging, I think the FPS is kind of really cleaned up a lot better. And you can see Tyrion just getting lost in the mass. I can't wait to find Malekith on the battlefield as well. It's so funny watching him, you know, this whole destroyer of worlds kind of outlook, and he's just absolutely awful. You can also see I'm just selecting everyone. It's just the numbers is so amazing. And this makes me really excited for future Total Wars, because obviously all the Total War teams, I guess, dev teams, all work together at creating more and more content. Again, still a little bit choppy at the moment. Go down to slow motion. I think it's because a lot more of the archers you can see in the distance start shooting, so it must be the arrow trails. Because there's a lot. There's like 600 people in each archer unit, which is insane. Look at the mini Hydra as well. Look at that thing. It's hilarious. So basically the entity thing only reduces like single units, so that's why it works on generals and that's why it works on monsters, but it doesn't work on like Croxagors or Rat Ogres or anything like that. But how hilarious is that? I mean, just look at the scale that we've got going. But yeah, I really hope that, you know, for the next big historical Total War game, they use some of this optimization and they use some of this kind of, you know, code for the future Total War, so that we can have these massive 20v20,000 battles, but just in a normal battle, you know? Not so much, for example, just like, oh, that's a really big battle. I want these engagements to be normal, and I think that's what Total War really needs. And there you go, look at Malekith. He is so small compared to the rest of his kin. That looks hilarious, and I'm going to be trying to get, or at least do my best to get Tyrion over here. There you go, you can see some more of the gravity as my my cavalry come flying in. The previous video I did with the Skaven vs Lizardmen, we do a lot more kind of, I guess, gravity stuff as the Croxagors just send so many rats flying. It's hilarious. My mini dragons, I mean, the dragons still look kind of big, but once they kind of land, you definitely see that they are a lot smaller compared to what they normally are. You know, they're pretty much the same height as a dark elf right there. So I'm moving down my dragons here to get some work done. And we'll send them off. So Tyrion is also chasing them. And this is when I have to be like, yeah, we have to go ahead and get Tyrion to fight off my boy Malekith, who is currently in the midst of battle. We got my dragon princes up here as well, with all the arrow fire coming in. And that's a really cool thing. There's like, yeah, look at that, another blade wind coming off. Because so you can also make it so that winds of magic basically are just infinite, and the cooldown reduction on spells are infinite. So you can basically just pop like a constant amount of Comets of Cassandora or Blade Storms or Chill Wind or whatever you want to do. You can really just pour them in and just do so much damage. And there we go. Now quite a few units have died. The optimization is a little bit better. I mean, even with this many arrow archers shooting as well, it's still pretty crazy. Because you can just look at them bulks of archers. And there's still 20,000 soldiers in the battle right now, which is, again, just crazy. It blows my mind. It makes me so excited for the future of Total War. You know, having future Total War games, hopefully using this and being pushed forward with optimization and just sheer scale. Because it's not like they've taken any of the quality really out of Warhammer 2 whatsoever. You know, these units are still doing their animations, still look really, really high res and high quality. God, I can't imagine what the modders are going to do with this. So that brings me on to my next point. I'm really... Oh, look at that, the gravity destroying. There's just so many amazing things that happen. And a beautiful lump of like 400 dragon princes roaming on. And we do see that tiny dragon there as well. But yeah, it makes me really excited for when modders get their hands on this and they create epic scenario battles with custom maps. Like, imagine actually holding a Dwarven Carrick or like just a Carrick in general with like 2,000 souped up dwarves against 80,000 Skaven rats, or maybe even 100,000 Skaven rats. I can just imagine that, just trying to push them back, having the artillery firing overhead. It's like, that's like really what, like, almost lore friendly, right? How many rats there are, because I swear there's like hundreds of thousands, and the dwarfs like beat them back with like, you know, a mere couple hundred or something like that. Dragon Prince is just sending these crossbowmen into the abyss. Same with the dragon as well. So you can see the battle is starting to wind down a little bit. My cavalry is running amok everywhere. More forces coming in. So do let me know in the comments down below what you want to see. Do you want to see like like an entity off where we just have like mini dragons, or even like huge dragons coming in against one another? Maybe like some huge hydras versus carnosaurs or something. Maybe like a Jurassic World type battle. Let me know what factions you want to see as well in the Skaven Labs. And I think we can do some interesting stuff, because I feel like I want to do like maybe like a huge like times 10 unit scale organ gunner, just entire 40 units of organ guns versus maybe like a huge Skaven army running towards them, and I'll make sure I stick reload time up so that they just shoot constantly, and then we'll just have the dwarven organ guns just firing and firing and firing and firing. That'd be pretty insane. But at the moment, I don't think the Mortal Empires are going to make their way into Skaven Labs from what I remember reading, as we just have Malekith, mini Malekith, fighting away against the forces of the elves. He looks so funny, look at him. And then you got Tyrion comes flying in right at the end, just swinging Sunfang around like he doesn't give a fuck. Him and Malekith are just juking it out. I thought this was so funny when I was doing it, just watching these two. And the funny thing is as well, because they run the same speed as if they were a normal size, they do as much damage as if they were the normal size. So you can see them just smashing away people. And again, look at this Hydra. It just looks so small with the Elven Spearman. And I think one of the elves is probably going to look one of the best in just huge numbers. Because just that clean uniform. Oh, nice little chill wind right there. Just for sheer like clear, like they're just so like crisp and like uniform, and they look really good. But I mean, I imagine that a Dowie shield wall of 1,000 dwarfs in one unit would also look pretty insane. And the dragons have come to play, each of them charging in. We do have the 2 star dragons there, and the black dragon as well, along with the Hydra. More of the spears, dread spears going up against the sword masters. And the executioners are up here as well. Pretty intense battle, if you ask me. More archer fire still going out. And again, I'm just really happy with how well, like, because I think Total War kind of had a stigma of it just not running as well as it could. Like, Attila is kind of poor when it does come to optimization. So I'm really, really happy that they've managed to really push this. And I'm excited to find out how it runs on my computer as well before the upgrades. I'm going to be benchmarking it with my computer at the moment, which is pretty crappy compared to what I'm upgrading it to. So if you want to kind of stick around and make sure to watch that as well, that'd be great when I do eventually get that benchmark video out there. But basically, it's just going to be me cleaning up this battle now, smashing away. But I mean, this has been a look at the gravity as well, as the cavalry just come flying in, ripping these guys apart. And we also have the Star Dragon. That dragon is getting the hell out of there as well, as both the Dark Dragons actually decided to come back around. And you just saw the princes as well go flying off there. That was pretty funny. But there we go. That is going to be the battle of the Skaven Labs. 40,000 units going at one another in that engagement. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like and a comment down below. I'll see you guys next time, and fish out.